other day. We're gonna see if it works today. Okay, we're on, we're running. Happy Sunday, guys. How's everybody doing? Are you guys like freaking fired up right now? Like, are you fired up? Because I am freaking fired up. You guys are exploding. You're absolutely exploding. My isopulse is just nonstop right now. I love the events you guys are attending, the events you're hosting, the action everybody's taking, and just getting vulnerable and just doing new things and getting comfortable being uncomfortable, right? So let's just get this call started because we've got a lot of content. We haven't seen each other except for NYK. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. Let me mute all. Mute all. Perfect. Thanks for reminding me, Melba. If you guys want to speak, just unmute yourself. So we're going to follow the same flow we always do. I want to start with recognition, highlights, what you guys have been doing. It's amazing out there. And then we're going to go into some NYKO highlights. I'd love to hear from you guys. I feel like you guys hear me talking too much on this call. So I'd love to hear from you so that we can stay concise and within our time frame. I'd just love to go around and maybe everybody shares like their top 3 ahas or moments at NYKO. And then I'd love to hear from Melva about how her event went, and she really did a great job sharing some do's and don'ts moving forward. And then I'd like to talk a little bit about what I've been doing on LinkedIn. I'm going 90 miles a minute, and I'd love to share with you guys what's going on there for me if we have time. Yeah, so that's it. Let's start with shout outs. I want to give a huge shout out to Melva for getting uncomfortable and hosting an event this weekend. And I'm not sure if maybe you and Nicoletta did another event today. I'm not sure. I know you guys are going to be doing them. But I just wanted to give you a huge shout out for getting uncomfortable and doing that. It just takes getting into action, and then the momentum starts. And so I just wanted to give you a huge shout out there. And I also wanted to give a huge shout out to Jennifer Bartram. And thank you, Melva, for finding this in her reports. Jennifer hit 1 star the first week in January. It's something you guys aren't familiar with. They're called ghost cycles, and they are cycles. It's a fraction of a cycle that you get for your own personal enrollments. And it's how I hit 4 star the first time, because I put in like 3 value packs and an ultimate pack that week. And so what happens is on screen, I saw like 56 cycles. But because of my ghost cycles, I hit 60, and you're recognized for that rank advancement. And so this is exactly what happened with Jennifer. She's been hustling clearly and recruiting and enrolling. And it was a week where she was really heavy on enrollments. She was really high on cycles, and you put those numbers together. And on screen, she hit 1 star, which is huge. So a huge shout out to her, and a huge shout out to Melva for recognizing that. I'm going to shut my mouth because I know Melva probably wants to recognize some big things that are going on with her team. I've seen a lot of consultants created this past week or 2. So I'm just going to be quiet because I don't want to steal thunder. And let's see who else wants to speak. And sorry, I'm a nasty mess with the side ponytail, but this is my life on Sunday nights. You guys are used to that. Who wants to speak?
All right, I'll hop in if nobody else is. So congratulations, Jennifer. That's awesome. You guys are West Virginia, Ohio. I want to see you enrolling, and the people you're enrolling are enrolling, and it's really awesome. I printed this out, and I took the picture, but I make sure everybody report because it shows you're personally enrolled, but everyone on your team who is now a consultant and they're eligible for this crystal manager. So it's literally pages. Also your downline, Tammy and Jennifer, and everybody else on the line too. You're probably going to see the same thing, and ISIS has made it easy for you. And we're doing. I know at one point we used to have like little, hey, who wants to raise their hand and run for crystal manager like groups to really pump people up and kind of connect doing that. They're making it really easy to see that. Speaking of consultants, I want to congratulate Nicoletta. Congratulations. She like knocked it out the park this week with 3 ways. Enrolled 0 for 3 hits. 2 people consulting. Congratulations. And she's getting people enrolling in Ice a Body Challenge. I sent you a message if you on Ice. And then I wanted to shout out Katie, who while we were having our event, she shared a lot of insight. And I know Watson, I really appreciate that the group to her first event at NYKO. She brought someone with her who she's meeting with Monday, who's probably going to enroll. And this are to go to celebrate. She's excited about that, and she learned a lot, and the fire has just been lit under her. So congratulations to Katie. And I hope I'm not leaving else out. Congratulations, everybody.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. The team's just blowing up. Now your whole downline's blowing up. It's so exciting. And it's energetic. It creates energy amongst everybody. Any other shout outs that you guys want to give? I want to give a huge shout out to, I know Rochelle, it was her very first event that she showed up to like a month or two after she enrolled. She made it happen at NYKO. Do we have anyone else on the line? It was their very first event to NYKO that I'm missing. I know Luisa, it was yours too, right? You went to the Cepeda event. She flew all the way to Charlotte for our Cepeda event. So we take it for granted that it was in your backyard, but it was absolutely your very first Core 4 event, Luisa's very first Core 4 event. And her recruit, Rochelle, who's a consultant on the team who's been enrolling like crazy, made it happen. And even though she's got to have ACL surgery and she was in like a knee brace walking all throughout the convention. So kudos to you ladies. All right, any other shout outs before we transition into NYKO highlights? Tammy, go for it, girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. My team is fire. Yeah. But of course, yes, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Jennifer because, oh my gosh, she's just, for sure. Hitting 1 star and smashing all of our goals every single week. I got a new consultant today, and then that is where my focus is. But someone that I enrolled also had a consultant today. So we've been working really hard this week for that. And Cindy Scott enrolled her very first, and she put that in this week. So we've been trying to help her get another one in there today. So I'm not going to give up. So anyway, I think that's all. But Eddie's really good. Can't today.
That's a good problem to have. Can I jump in really quick? Tammy and Jennifer and Nicoletta, could you just give us works to create those consultants, like a takeaway that we can take with us going into the week? How are you making that happen? Working. Muted talking.
Sorry, that would be really helpful.
I had a meeting
in that process of. Sorry, that'd be really helpful to hear. Like, I'm in the process of really make consultants, but like, what does it mean? Does it mean like asking them, okay, like who are over 2 people that would like you back up everything? So
share with us your wisdom, please, Tammy, if that's okay, Melissa. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to move into another room. My internet is so in and out. I'm hearing like every third word. You guys keep talking. Absolutely.
Okay, go for it, Tammy. What you got?
Okay. Tuesday night I had a meeting.
Okay.
So I got the board out. I went ahead and I made it so simple for everyone, for my team. And I only went to and I didn't go beyond that. I was like, okay, here's how you can make $750 quick and easy. And I did demonstration on how to do that, how to create that. So that got more of my people fired up about it. I didn't see it was unreachable. I made it to where it was so simple, and I only went to major and didn't ask that. It just seemed like I got people running. Where before I was the same people that I talked to for a year or more. So it just casting that vision, making it really super simple, and just try and get to achieve reset manager. And that's what I did. And that I don't know, that was something that had come to me like on Monday, like, oh, this is what I'm going to talk about on Tuesday. And that's basically what my meeting was all about, just firing people up and getting them excited and saying that they can accomplish this. They can reach that goal.
That's good.
So that's what worked for me this week.
That's good. For me, if I can didn't call those people right there that they thought of, like when you asked for people, did you say, hey, let's call 5 people, let's text 5 people, or what did you do?
I didn't find two people this week, and let's get it moving. And so I watched their energy. When some people running and trying to find people, myself available for them, for 3-way calls or just reaching out. So
it's awesome. I love it.
I was just unmuting myself at the time the chief calling houses full of people. I'm kind of like Tammy, going on the excitement and the momentum, but there's something that happened a little bit. I'm sorry. This is not my world. Every time I do something that's crazy. But anyway, what happened with me this week is I had some product, like committed consumers, and I kept feeding them from Phoenix, and I kept feeding them. And one had already signed her husband up. She's having major transformation. She's, I'm too busy to do anything. You don't have to do it. Then I'm going to at least get you to consultant. So Nicoletta, that's one thing I help with early on. If you can get them to consultant, and they can see that money or person didn't care about, she cares about helping that other person. So that worked. Then my sister has been using the products for almost a year. Her husband is finally a committed consumer, thriving. So then she's consulting again. So that worked. And then I have a couple other people that are looking because they're looking at the products. That worked. But I can't leave them. I've been learning from what all you guys have taught us on social media, and Tammy, where she's so consistent. I've been utilizing that, but not on Ice Mix. Just Letta gave me the ideas, brand myself. Mine's a little bit different, mommy crazy. But anyway, doing that and being consistent and keeping them engaged on what's coming next. And I said, you don't have to do a business like I'm doing a business. I'll help you. Let's just get you to a consultant status. And I set it as a goal. No matter what, I'm going to get 2 people underneath you, go with it. If you don't want anybody else underneath you after that, I'm happy to sign them up. But I'm going to help you if I can. And during that part, there's some patience in some of my people are older, and I'm going to have to help them. But with the others, that gets them actively engaged to take off with it. And then I'm blessed to have a gals on the team, Tammy and I, that you don't see them on these calls, but they're taking off too. And so we're strategically planning how to get them. So keep pushing, like, lady, I need you at our March 9th in Pomeroy. I need you at our March 30th at Cepeda. And I need you to get your ticket to Nashville. So I'm just being intentional together. Let's go after it. And I think that's the energy. Just keep firing that energy. Like, let's do this. You're going to be so excited. And then to some people, when I count my stuff, like, listen, doing this in side pockets of time, I've made this amount of money in a year, which I totally shocked by. Much as Melissa made in her first year, probably nothing near what Tammy made. But for me and my side pockets of time, I'm like, this is pretty amazing. So anyway, I'm just real and open, very helpful. And I think Tammy taught me to be even more helpful in that first month, Nicoletta. Like, start a Facebook Messenger thread with a few of them that you're accounting, and so they're asking questions at the same time. But let them know that you legitimately care. And then after that, it's like they're like independent on their own. Like, I went back and forth today for half an hour with the orthopedic surgeon I signed up. Just making sure what's he liking, what's working for him, what isn't. Giving him that feedback when he's available today. Checking back in. And then I just got a message from a gal who signed up with me with a value pack, and then she's gone ghost for me. she just messaged and thanks for sticking in, because periodically I'll send her a message. Hey, how are you doing? I just want to check in. Is there anything I can help you with? So I think consistency in pockets of time, like Tammy's beautifully consistent every day. I'm not, but I try to make sure that there's at least, I mean, I every day, but not on checking with people. So to make sure that my days off hard. But thank you guys. You guys are awesome team of support.
Awesome. Yes, this is all really good insight, and everybody has their own style, that works for them. I love all of this. I will say, from my experience, Nicoletta, I think this is a great conversation. It may take up part of a good chunk of our team call, but since we're all pushing for the reset, I think it's an important conversation because consultants are like front and center right now, right? I think that sometimes we can get so excited about the business and the financial opportunity that we have to take a step back and remember kind of where these people are that we're enrolling. Sometimes we get so ahead of ourselves and wanting to talk about the business, and sometimes that scares people because they just want to get healthy, and so then they don't want to have anything to do with the business because they're seeing it as a business. So just follow me on this journey for a second, because it's kind of a little bit of a dance, right? So like if I'm on the line with someone who's interested in the business, like I was talking to a guy this past week who wants the business and he wants the ultimate pack, but he's slightly broke in a bad divorce right now and lawyers and all this other stuff. So clearly with him, I'm talking about, recouping the investment in his business by bringing in other people and talking big picture about the financial opportunity. So it's a very different conversation than, for instance, a lady who has no interest in the business and is actually apprehensive and kind of nervous about what I'm doing as a business altogether. And so my conversation with her is going to be more about eating for free, like the Eat for Free Club, right? So when I'm on the phone with somebody who is exclusively interested in the product, and I've mentioned, does the idea of a secondary income or residual income interest you? I always say that doesn't matter whether they make $1 million a year or $2 a year. It tends to be the people who make the most money who are still interested in making more money. But many times they'll say, no, I have no interest in that right now. I just want to get healthy, right? Well, I think a lot of times people shut down there and then don't want to talk anymore about how you can get money out of the business because then it feels dirty or it feels weird, and it shouldn't, because then that's when I take a step back and say, well, that's totally cool, and I totally respect that, but I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't share with you how you can at least eat for free. So in a couple of weeks, when you're feeling amazing and you're loving these products, I'd love to be able to share with you how you can share with 2 of your closest friends and offset the cost of your products. So I think part of it is just kind of a little bit of a dance and kind of feeling people out, because I think sometimes people, because they see us, like all of you on the call, are obviously serious about the business, or you wouldn't be on the call at 8:30 at night. And so sometimes even the people we're the closest to that are maybe interested in the product are almost like terrified that we're going to push them into the business. And so they don't really want to talk about it. And so that's why I like to just get the elephant out there and just say, look, I know you may not want to retire from your job like I have, because clearly that's loud and proud about me now, right? You may not be interested in doing that at all, but I'd love to at least show you how you can eat for free through our referral program. Does that make sense? So I think that, it depends on the person, but I always have the conversation. This is good. Anybody else want to give some insights on how they're creating consultants? Christine, go for it, girlfriend.
So I have brand new people just started, maybe they're on their second cleanse day or something like that. Brand new, fresh, okay. Showing them the money right away. And 2 of them have enrolled their husbands this week because free membership, get going. So I'm like, you're 1% away to earn more money. Mm-hmm. So I'm even taking a step back. Tammy, beautiful about a manager, but for this brand new people, manager is kind of scary. So I'm meeting them where they are, and I'm saying, you know what, just get your on board, because in this industry, you want your husband to be in the first position. You're building your team, and you want your husband to be there. Don't make the mistake that I did. Start day 1. So I'm teaching them from my mistakes of what is possible without it overwhelming him. Just saying get 2 people. You have 1 already, find one person. So, and they're pulling me into 3-way text messages, phone calls. These are brand new people, but again, you have to show them the money. And something I've lacked doing for the past almost 4 years. Not anymore. And it's all about the posture as well. I'm actually like on my phone seeing like a million messages right now saying like, again, I'm busy tonight helping other people get started. Let me know if you want me to help you as well. So this is just, again, bringing on new people. We learn at NYK about creating FOMO. So tell people you're busy and it's simple for them.
Yep.
I really cut off like one person today saying like, I gotta go. I was actually running late. I said, I'm gonna send you an ISOLive app and just put in your information. It will be your doors in 2 days. And this person just enrolled right away on like value pack. And she's like, cost is not an issue. I just want to make sure it works. I said, perfect. So have the confidence and posture, even when we're talking about money, because that's something I've lacked so much.
Yep.
I will have the confidence about product because they've changed my life. Now I'm talking about confidence about earning money and like eating for free or getting at least half of their products paid for. So baby steps, we're all for it, right? So I'm not going to have a 0 for this month of not creating consultants this month. So
I love it.
But anyway, just wanted to.
It's so true. Well, and the other thing is, I will say for the new people on the line and for everybody, many times people want to taste, try, and get the experience with the product before they start sharing. That's very common. The first thing I'll say to them is I totally can feel where you're coming from because I felt the same way. However, I was really kind of eager to recoup, my investment in my products. So I just shared with a couple of close friends with the full disclosure that, I have no idea what the outcome is going to be for this, but I'm looking for accountability buddies. If anyone's looking to get more energy, lose weight, blah, 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 blah. But putting that kind of disclaimer out there in the beginning for people who are apprehensive about sharing about something they haven't experienced yet. And the other thing I'll say for those same people is don't give up on them, because by like week 3, when they're feeling good and their confidence about the products have changed, I always have a call with new people. It's time consuming, but worth every penny to jump on a call with them and do like a 15-minute back office overview before their first auto ship comes. They're going to see what's in the box. They're going to see how much it is. And it's the chance to revisit getting their next shipment for free by introducing it to 2 friends, right? I see there's some chat going on. So Tammy did a meeting at the library. Oh, yeah. So anyway, so these are all really great shares, guys. Really great shares. Any other thoughts or insights on consultants before we jump into NYKO nuggets? All right. Oh, the last thing I'll say is when you're mentioning for people to share and they're new, give them a tool. Like, even if you've just enrolled them, I did this with 3 or 4 people this past week that I was on the phone with, is like, I said, hey, that video I sent you about the pillars of health? Share that with, if you're, because people are at a loss. Okay, great. I will bring some people in, but I don't know how to do that or what to say or what to send. And then so they don't do anything. And so I offer up, hey, just send them that video I sent you if they're interested. And I send them the messaging from the Global Exec page about a direct message to friends or a Facebook post. I give them the link and they can copy and paste it. If they show any level of interest of sharing, I give them those tools before I hang up. And I even say, hey, if you want to send me what you're thinking about posting on social media or what you're thinking about sending people, send me a screenshot. I'll give you some feedback since I've been doing this for a while on what maybe would help or not. So just don't get off the phone without giving them a tool to do their first level of prospecting, even if it's their immediate friends. Was somebody else trying to say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Uh-huh.
You guys can hear me okay? All right. So Melissa, I think you shared this with me and it actually worked. I have 3 appointments coming up this week. And what I did was I talked about, can you imagine, so you're going to try these products, you're going to love them. Now, what's your favorite store? Mine's Whole Foods. I just make it up. Say, can you imagine if you referred 2 people to Whole Foods because you know you love her. And then Whole Foods said, thank you so much, and gave you a referral bonus. And then every time those two people shopped and anybody else that Whole Foods gave you 6%. That's exactly what Isagenix does.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about sharing it with two people. And people's eyes just popped out. Are you kidding me? I'm like, absolutely. It's extremely simple, but let's just get started. I can tell you more. So that's been very, it's worked well. People are interested. So
Yes.
Just wanted to throw that out.
Absolutely. And it's relatable. Makes sense to people. Okay. Awesome. Okay. A lot of you attended NYKO. I would love for you to get your notes out. And for those that you have that attended, I would love for each of you, newbies and seasoned folks, give your three, your three big nuggets, your insights from the event. Who wants to go first? I see a lot of you on the line that were there. So who wants to go first? Crickets. You guys hear me all the time.
Okay.
Rochelle's going to raise her hand. Or Dawn. Who's raising their? Rochelle, do you want to speak? Is your hand raised? You're mute. I can't hear you. Are you muted on your end? While you're figuring it out, I'm going to let Dawn go. But you look like you're muted on your end, or either your internet is not very good. So go ahead, Dawn, until Rochelle gets her mute fixed.
My new mantra is not over until I win.
Yes.
And just really, oh my gosh, how profound was that, seeing that every master was once a disaster? It really resonated with me. Mm-hmm. So just keep going, just keep plugging. People that don't quit will figure it out. That was a big one. And then, of course, back to the basics. Forget all this fluff. I love the scaled down version of it. It was just share, create, consult, just start there. Forget all of the other stuff. So I'm just trying to keep it really simple. And the posture about the business, our Get team dominated the stage, in my opinion. There were so many key players up there that it just, this belief. So those are my three big takeaways. Just, it's not over until you win, people. Let's do it.
Yes, I agree. I have to say, did some of you guys see the post that Renee did of Amanda Ham, like today or yesterday, when she just hit 1 star? I love it. We all started there, right? We all started there. Amanda Ham hit 1 star January 28th. And then I came into our organization February 25th, like a month and a couple days later. You look at her business over the past 4 years, and it has absolutely exploded. And when she first started, she was an absolute hot mess, just like us. It's funny because I didn't realize how new she was into it until that post today. I was like, oh my God, I had no idea she was so new to it. She's got her act together now. She's so polished, and she's a phenomenal leader. And, it was a complete hot mess when I first started. Melva can attest to it. Christine can attest to it. We were all hot messes. We had no idea. I still don't know what I'm doing. It's so true. It's not over till I win. It is not over until I win. The only way you fail is if you stop. The only way you fail is if you give up. I see people in my organization who've been out to lunch for a year, but they're hanging on to their BV, and they are accumulating massive amounts of BV because it's not over till they win. Maybe they're in a season of their life right now. But my point is, all of us can succeed. It's just a matter of timing of when you're going to be consistent. And you're going to be consistent daily. And it's going to take finding the right people in your organization, which takes consistency, and it takes a lot of no's till you get to the right yeses that end up on your team that blow up the business. That's all there is to it. but the consistency has to be there. And you just can't give up. So I agree with you, Dawn, 100%. Emily Vavra just like crushed that opening, the opening note. All right. Who else wants to share?
I'll share.
All right. Awesome. Go, Jennifer.
I wanted to say that leader in action formula, even though I'm still figuring it out, I have a couple questions for Melissa. That was very powerful. I'm very visual. So Melissa's tried to help me with that over the phone. It gets a little crazy where I was executive, so I've got to figure a few things out. But if I can use that every week, that's huge for me. Like that makes me decide where I'm placing someone tonight. You see what I'm saying, to make sure I don't have any zeros. So that was one thing. I know Tammy asked me early on this past week what my favorite nuggets were, and I'm so glad you're asking this tonight because I felt bad I didn't really give them because it's a crazy week. But anyway, other thing, the science talks. Those were huge for me. Those were huge for my husband. He's rattling stuff off to everybody. I don't know that he's rattling off quite exactly correct, but he's getting just it. But he's like, if you'd have heard those scientists and formulators talk about this,
enthusiasm that matters.
Confidence.
It's the
yes,
enthusiasm.
Exactly. So the excitement of that. And then the other thing was, I don't remember which one spoke on it, but the isopulse and the connection. So Nicoletta, to you today, when you had that question on where I wasn't using that before. I didn't know that. So so now I'm making sure I was clueless. Like I saw that I got 1 star, but I didn't really want to know I didn't really know how, and I didn't really know what that meant. So I wasn't tooting my own horn, but I didn't know that. But Nicoletta, on the isopulse, since yes, I started using it, and that helps me so much because I have some new people on my team who are totally challenging it and using the IsoLife app to do everything. So then I send them messages during the day. I think that was, which I tried to touch on earlier, is stay connected. Stay connected. They need to know, which I do. I mean, I'm happy. I want them to succeed. But even if you're driven, even if you know they have crazy lives, just be like, hey, I'm just touching base. Do you need anything? And I think that's very helpful because like right now I have mine, he doesn't even know this yet. One of my young ones who just became consultant, I thought was for the first time, it was for the second time. She's booking her ticket for Nashville today. And so anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm working some other ones to try to book their tickets. And I have a bunch who've committed to the Cepeda event. And I already bought on March 30th. So anyway, it's that momentum. So as soon as we got back, I just sent a text. I'm like, listen, you guys are my leaders. I expect you to make 2 out of 3 happen. I want you to do all 3. I'm going to cover you for this and this. This is what this is. And I just go with it like that. But Nicoletta, you'll find that some of the people you sign up become your best friends because you're motivated and working toward wellness together. So it's fun. Anyway, I'm done. Sorry.
Well, no. And I think Jennifer, sorry, I'm getting my like quiet mommy voice because I'm home alone with 3 kids and I hear one of them up there coughing and I don't want to wake them up because then you guys are going to be running the rest of the call. What was I going to say? Oh, so it's the confidence, right? So I've said this, Jennifer, about you before, but the thing is, if people are telling you they want this business, then you have the right to tell them they need to be at these events with confidence and kind of with a little bit of demand. Like, hey, look, if you really want to make this happen, you need to be at these events. I've got 2 or 3 guys on my team who swear they're all in and swear they're doing this, and they've yet to come to an event. And so I match that energy, right? I don't give them much of my time because if they're not going to commit to come here and be trained by corporate and treat this like the income opportunity that it is, I'm not going to give them my time. It is what it is. So, what about getting them plugged into calls, Jennifer? Are you giving them the get call dial-in information?
They've hit her with that. I'm going to try to get that to be stronger. Becky Godwin, who's on here right now, has been super consistent. So when she takes off, she's going to take off hard. She's been a lot of angle now. But I've got 2 other ones who I think are listening sometimes, but I'm trying to get them more committed to at least listen to the recordings of it during.
Yep. Awesome. I'm constantly having to remind myself as well as the rest of the team. when you get someone on who says they're interested, my knee-jerk, the first thing I do is get them plugged into the Get calls. They're inspirational. They're going to gel with certain leaders, and they can learn and be trained while you are at work. And it's brilliant. And by the way, Becky, you're a newbie at NYKO too, and I couldn't see your face and I didn't see your name, so I'm sorry I didn't recognize you earlier. Okay, awesome. Yes, absolutely. Leader in action formula. I'm just going to throw it out there, guys. It becomes real when you write it down. Okay? So if you're not printing this report and you're not filling it out every Monday, the company is telling you these are your guardrails for building this business. And I'm here to tell you it hurts to look at that and have to put a 0 on it. Okay? I am being extremely vulnerable with you guys. I posted mine last Monday. I'm going to post mine tomorrow. And what I would love to see the rest of you do is to do the same and put your formula in the comment section of my post. Don't let me be the only one airing my dirty laundry out there. I'd love to see you guys get involved too, because it will hit you square in the face where you need to be focused. And where I am focused right now is on personal rank advancements. For some reason, I'm good at helping everybody rank advance and coach deep in my lines, but I need to be recruiting new people and rank advancing them too, right? And so it's a balance. And I wouldn't identify that if I wasn't printing this sheet out every week and looking at it square in the face and being like, okay, I've got to focus on this. Okay. So can I get a raise of hands on the screen for anybody who's going to be willing to begin filling out your leader in action formula and posting it? And if you're confused about how to use it, thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Maria. If you're confused about how to do it, I'm happy to show you how. Just give me a call. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm telling you, it's a good exercise. All right. Who else wants to give their highlights on NYK?
I can highlight Melissa.
Okay, perfect.
With me or somebody else?
I'll go, Stacy. I'll go after.
Go, Stacy.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have Wilbur's Barbecue in my notes. I'm sure that was a very important restaurant. But yes, I'm just so fired up right now because Alicia cycled 3 times this week from hitting consultant, not 2, but 3. That is just so, like, I just broke a sweat. Like, I told her today, it makes me so much happier to see she earned me this week. That's fantastic.
Oh
you can't do that in other companies. I've been in 2 other companies. I'm just so ecstatic for her, and it is her persistence, and she enrolled and came to our Greensboro Super Saturday before her box even arrived, and she was consistent all through the holidays. She kept planting seeds and having phone calls, and then she started running her own phone calls, and still gives enrollments yet, but I told her just keep going, and she did, and she trusted me. And then this week it just, all those seeds sprouted, and just a true testament to keep going. But what I loved about NYKO, yes, Emily Vavra, we could have all went home after that opening number. She did. Write down 3 reasons why you deserve your dream and why you refuse to give up on it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because for me, sometimes dreams or like a car or a vacation or things like that don't always speak to me. I have to dig a little deeper to bust through those barriers sometimes to keep going. The 3 reasons you deserve your dream and why you refuse to give up on it. And know that this journey and your business is more about other people than yourself. You can make other people's dreams come true. And that might help motivate some people as well. I'm looking forward to educating people more on the LinkedIn platform of just not knowing what's available to them in terms of making money. With the typical time for money, linear income, the 40-40-40 plan, you work 40 hours a week for 40 years to acquire 40% of your income, which was never enough to begin with. So we're set up from failure from the very beginning. When we enter into the corporate America world and work their whole life and even come close to accruing $1 million, definitely not in a year, but we have the tracks to run on to make that happen in our own lives. We have a gift, need to share that gift with others. I also want to, I spoke with Melissa at the end of last year. I want to get back into looking for a place for compensation business overviews, and a great term that I saw used at NYKO is your ideal life social, like business overview or whatever. So I thought ideal life social was a really cool buzz title to use. And I have Melissa, I kind of want to go back and complete a health assessment that I was working on. I know the Residual Rockstar team has a huge health assessment that they like to send folks before they get on the phone with them. However, I found that one to be a little lengthy. It's 4 pages long, and most people do not want to spend time answering 4 pages of questions before they even get on the phone. So I screenshot a picture of one of the segments that they did where they do the pre-screen questions, only like 5 questions. And I'm thinking I'm going to go back and complete that as well, and be happy to share that link with anyone who would like to pre-qualify there.
I love that. If you put that together, if you could please share it with the team, because that's my biggest challenge right now. I'm in communications with over 300 different people in LinkedIn right now, and I'm trying to work through a way to qualify them for my time. And these are people really interested in the business. So the questionnaire that Residual Rockstars has, it's too much, and it's not all that relevant, except for like the 2 questions about the income. So let me know if you. I
will work on that. It won't take me long to actually execute it. I just need to get all the information and identifying those key questions. And I stopped using the Residual Rockstar one. Not that it's not a great tool, but I could even tell in people's answers they were annoyed. Yeah. They started out the survey with a long answer, and by the end it was like, no, I do not want to eat for free. Like, okay, I get it. You're frustrated. But anyway, I'll work on that and get that out. And then the rest of my stuff is pretty much just but and this is an opportunity that provides more yes in our life and a less no's. It's an opportunity to say yes when I used to have to say no. And so I want to use that as like a rebuttal for people who say, no, I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I want to say I felt the same way, but what I found is that this opportunity actually provides more yeses in our life, a lot less no's. So that's all I got for now.
No, I love it. Thank you for sharing, Stacy. That's all very insightful. Jennifer, I know you use the questionnaire a lot, and you've been really successful with it. So I know that it's not that it doesn't provide tremendous value, and you're welcome to speak to it. For me personally, in recruiting for the business, it's not as helpful of a tool for me. It is helpful for recruiting from a product standpoint and business, but anyway, I'd love to hear your insight, because I know you use it a lot and it's working really well for you. So I don't want to shy people away from using it. It's just not what I'm using for business recruits.
It's worked really well for me for a lot of people who wouldn't be open to the business idea. And Stacy, if you keep the question there on what you spend on your lunch every day, because I put that back at them. If they're complaining about the cost, I'm like, well, actually, 2 meals and 2 shakes a day for less than what you're spending on your lunch. So I think that's a very valid one that's on there. And see, the other thing I think is valid, I think they could show what they ask about the monies on the business. I think they could take a few out, but I think leaving a little tidbit of that in there is good, because if you're open to talking up front about that too, it's already right there. It's already right there. So it's already in their head. So then when you do talk, it's already been introduced. I'm pretty good at going ahead and bringing it up, but maybe not to the level that does. So I'd love to collaborate with you.
Sure, absolutely.
And give you what I think is phenomenal.
That'd be great.
One more thing that I think would be a huge time saver. I know Chris said she doesn't really ask them what flavors. I do. And I think it'd be nice to be like, what are your favorite flavors out of these basic flavors? And you could go ahead and put that together, send it to them, boom, and then you don't have to ask that question or be in that. So that might make it a little longer. I'm not trying to lengthen it. I'm just thinking that's the one absolute thing missing for their assessment right now, because that would save me so much time.
Yep.
Okay. Or we could in the future even dive in on that. So this one, I'm thinking more of like a pre-qualified checklist, like Melissa was saying, like, where do I need to spend my time and energy? Maybe we could have enough for those. Oh, that would be too much. Yeah. We'll talk. Let's
brainstorm.
I'm taking notes.
A questionnaire is definitely helpful for sure. And to your point, Jennifer, the thing I love about the questionnaire is especially for product users, when you send that questionnaire, there's still those 2 questions about money. And so sometimes you're surprised about what comes back to you for someone who you thought was just interested in product, and they like share with you this like major debt that they have and what they would like to pay off with it. And you're like, oh, okay, so we can talk about money. So that, and that's fine.
It gauges my whole conversation on which direction to take them. And a lot of times when I see their answers to those questions, I switch complete gears. I'm like, well, since you're interested in that, I can show you how to do that. But when you might not. You're right. People shock me.
Yeah.
On what they put on there.
For sure. Okay. I see a hand raised, and Rochelle, I think maybe still wanted to speak. Dawn, was your hand raised to speak? Or did you already speak and you just have your hand raised?
Sorry, no.
Okay. Let's see. Rochelle.
Melissa, I have something to share.
Sure. Go for it, Christine.
All right. So just kind of tag along to what Jennifer was saying. I used to spend a long time going flavors and options, and became so complicated that I was like, I'm not going to give people options. And I tell them, if you don't like it, the company will give you another flavor. The only question I ask when I set up the cart is, do you have any food allergies, and if you're a vegetarian or not. That's it. I don't even ask about lactose intolerance and none of that. Keep it simple, and that works great for me. Because again, I'm spent with asking million questions. And then the second thing, I used to use the residual one, but again, it became very complicated. And if you guys really think about it, the company already has a new enroll checklist in place. So just use that as a tool and commit to using that. And because that applies for product use, business matter. Use simple questions like, why are you doing this? What your goals are? And then I'm committing to start using that for all my new enrollments as well. And use the tool company has, and it's right there for us. And you choose how you want to do it. You want to send it to them, or you want to go over that over the phone. So it's totally up to you. Mm-hmm. And another thing using the tools is I've been using the IsoLife app to do all my enrollments the last maybe a month and a half. When I'm gonna go to hit those 15 enrollments, I relied on the IsoLife app like crazy. I'm loving it. And the ISO tools, you guys, if you're not missing that, I'm missing it. And if you download that, you will see a lot of even posts. Like you can literally post, like use the verbiage is there. You just have to like literally put in like tweaking like little words here and there. Don't recreate the wheel and just go ahead and share it with the world. So again, being smart with our time. Okay. Really one thing that really
Christine, really quick, do you think maybe on a future call you could do a ISO tool overview? Like you could share your screen and share some of your favorite tools and how to use it. I think if people got some exposure, maybe it would kind of change their direction.
Yeah, I use it on my phone, so I don't know how it looks like on the computer.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But you have to download the app, so it's on the phone, but it's very user friendly. literally while we were sitting there, you have all these brand new people starting it, and I'm at NYKO. I don't have time to go through like the whole cleanse day and how to do all this stuff. And my new team members are cleansing while I'm at NYKO.
Right.
So I am the video how to do a cleanse day, you know,
Yep.
and I will get a notification while I'm sitting there. They have viewed the message and they actually told me if they viewed the whole thing and how many times they viewed. So it's really helpful to rely on the tools. And there's a lot of really pretty social media stuff, you guys. It's out there. So yeah, like not because I think a couple of them, but that's another thing.
How excited are you guys about the new social media stuff that's coming out in February?
I can't wait. I really cannot wait. I'm glad they're actually taking their time to release it, because let them do it correctly. Same thing with the IsoLife app. When they announced it, they waited a little bit till it was kind of like perfected before they released it. So I'm kind of excited about that. But again, I'm kind of going to remind, kind of like re-initiate of like the conversation of like, it's not over till I win.
Yes.
And you guys, I had that in me since like day one. I mean, going to corporate and seeing my picture on the IsoBody wall. I remember taking a picture 3 years ago in the corporate office when I was invited there for their ribbon cutting ceremony. I took a picture of IsoBody. I said, one day my picture is going to be on this wall. And I didn't stop till I won. Okay. Same thing now. It's all about business. People who were training on stage, there are people that started with me at the same time, like Kristen Jenkins. We were on the start party at the same time, like 4 years ago when we won ISO Derby. Her goal was to be a top income earner. She crushed it. My goal was to be IsoBody. We crushed it. Again, we had different goals, but we were staying focused path. Travis Ogden talked about that. You know, distractions are our devil. It is staying true to your goals and your path and less distractions. I actually personally removed myself from several groups. I got rid of several subscriptions that I had through other like coaching stuff, social media stuff, stuff. This doesn't matter. Those are distractions. They are not helping me to get anywhere closer to my goal. So I'm staying true to my path. So yeah, we heard talk about discipline. I took a note here, said discipline will outdo the talent. We're all talented, but if we don't have a discipline, we ain't gonna win this shit.
Amen.
So I'm
all about discipline.
Because I told my husband today, this year it's our 10-year wedding anniversary. In November, I said, babe, in October, we're going to Grand Cayman, and I'm not going to let it down. I said, that's going to be our anniversary gift. Remember, Melissa, how you went to your anniversary to Top Achievers, honey?
Yes.
Yeah. Last year?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
I said, yeah, this year we're doing that shit, and we're going in October. So, but anyways, stick to your goals. And another thing too, like, I think it was Jay Bennett that was talking about the ABCs, like your attitude. Pulling down, just like blessed of some like awesome music, like whatever it makes you happy. Just change your attitude. Like, you know, if you're like always like down and no energy, you're gonna attract like crappy energy around you. It's gonna be worse. So you gotta get your ass like together. Sorry, you guys, I'm using like bad words, but you have to change your attitude. You know, if you're complaining, oh my God, nobody's enrolling with me, you're not going to enroll anybody. Right. Bottom line. So get your act together and change your attitude. Stand belief. Belief in yourself is the huge thing. And I can say this over and over again. Yes, you got to believe in the company. You have to believe products. But if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to succeed. And that's the truth. Like, especially in this industry that we're all new to, none of us went to school for becoming a network marketing professional. I sure didn't. And nobody else did on this call, except for Miss Becky, which is a rock star. Thanks for being made, because I learned so much from you. Again, and the last thing is commitment. So again, going back to the basics, commit to your goals. If your goal is to become like 1-star, 2-star, a manager, whatever it is, commit to your goals. I mean, Emily Vavra showed how she wants to become like 5 cycles a week, you guys. 5 cycles. That was her goal, and she committed to that. I mean, yeah, That's all it is. Write it down and be on your face anyways.
And I love it, Christine. And I say this to the team all the time, but it's baby steps, right? Like it's one thing for all of us to have these huge goals. Like my 2019 goal was 5-star, but what does that mean? And how do I measure it monthly? And so it's the baby steps that are important. I need to see growth in my business, but I need to see growth in leadership. I need to see rank advancements with my team, which takes me back to the leader in action formula. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're an executive on the team. There is no better true north to keep you on track than forcing yourself to fill that out every week. And to celebrate success. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm glad they actually changed the leader in action to be as a manager level, because a lot of missed out on using that as a tool, because before it was only as an executive you could like qualify for that. So I know my title was executive for the past 4 years, but I haven't been paid as executive since probably I started. So again, like I'm glad the company is helping us to again take baby steps and teaching us the basics. Become a manager, create mergers, and you'll be on a trip with me. So that's where we're going.
Well, and even if you're just starting out and you're an associate or a consultant, I think it's still important to get into the habit of filling it out. You can still track your enrollments. You can track your personal rank advancements for people you're bringing in, and you can see your status change from consultant to manager, from manager to director, and you can track that over in the paid as exec column. And if you're confused about that, I'm happy to chat with you on it. I think the thing most people are confused about is the benchmark cycles, which I can do a little video on that too. Okay. What else, guys? NYKO overview. I know we're getting kind of close to wrapping on. I want to hear from Melba with her Super Saturday, or not her Super Saturday, but her event this past weekend. What other insights did you guys hear? I'd love to hear from Rochelle, Luisa, or Becky as your first event. What your thoughts were.
Melissa?
Yes. Rochelle?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, yay. So for me, just going and being there obviously was very cool to meet all of you in person and to get the big picture, because I'm very visual. So for me, that was a big deal. The second thing was cool was the 5th pillar of health, the new product, because I'm a science geek, so I bought some of that while I was there and gave it to my mom the first thing I got home, because she suffers from like diverticulitis. So she's on it, she's trying it, she's loving it. So the third thing I thought was really cool was the fisherman talk. Is it Herb Zapata? Going fishing with the pro fishermen, and the fisherman gave up after so many casts, and he's just being patient, and he stays and keeps casting. So that's my plan.
Just got to keep casting until you get your people. And the thing is, I love that you're bringing this up, Rochelle, because the thing is, it's all about timing. And for some people in this business, it happens in the first 6 months. They find a couple of people who go gangbusters and their business blows up, and they happen to be on a leg that's blowing up. And you hear these freaks like Jessica Johnston and Laura, I can't even think of her last name right now, but you guys know who she is. But the reality is, that's their story. And it's not mine, it's not yours, it's theirs. And it doesn't matter when you hit that momentum, but you will, as long as you keep casting your net, as long as you keep casting your line. And I tell myself that in LinkedIn. I've, like I said earlier, on our next call, I'll do my LinkedIn overview. But, I must be in conversations with 300 people right now. And out of those 300, I've got 7 or 8 lined up to actually talk this week. So I'm casting my line. I'm just casting, I'm casting. Some will, some won't, a lot won't, a lot won't, a lot won't. And a couple will, and out of those couple, one is going to take off. And that energy is going to energize you, and you will be unstoppable. So I love that, Rochelle. Thanks for sharing. Any other insights?
No problem.
What about Luisa or Becky? I'd love to hear from you guys. Sorry, this call's going a little late, but we haven't talked in 2 weeks. Luisa or Becky, you guys want to share? Are you having problems with your?
I can
Go, Becky.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, in the previous business I was in, I'd been to 27 big, meetings like that. We always had a leadership meeting in January, and we always had our big event in the summer. So I knew what to go expect, and I knew that I would come away with a lot of information, and it worked as I thought it would. I got the bigger picture. I knew by going that I always encourage my people to go to meetings like that, because the bigger picture, not that Jennifer and Tammy didn't give it to me, but sometimes when you get in a bigger surrounding like that, and you really understand the bigger picture a lot better. So I was able to get the bigger picture, especially in the Leader in Action forum. Even though I don't understand a few things, I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to start using that to gauge my business. I enjoyed all the science talks and the business talks on Thursday. That really helped clarify a lot on the business end and on the product end. So I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed Emily Vivra. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name. Mm-hmm. But a few other quotes she said was, you can have your dream if you focus on it. Mm-hmm. And she also said, you got to be hungry. Just go for it. And then she said, we each have greatness in us. So, and then all the stuff that the people talked about tonight, I also, enjoyed, hearing about. But I did come back with a lot, got fired up, and it was a very good event, and I recommend anybody to go that happened before.
Awesome. Absolutely. I mean, you guys are hearing it. You got to get your new people to the events to open their eyes and create that big vision. That's incredible. Luisa, do you want to share? No, you're good. Let's see. Does anybody else want to give their insights? I'm going to turn it over to Melva here in a minute, because I'd love to hear about Melva's party with the kids. All those kids. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Melva, and we'll wrap up after this, guys. I know we're a little late. Thanks for hanging on.
Okay. Yeah, and Melissa, if you can do the Leader in Action, Jennifer, some great questions. And I'll be honest, I'm new to Leader in Action formula because it was Millionaire in Action when we were doing it. So I don't know all the answers, but I will learn along with everybody and be able to help. So I can't answer all those. So real quick, I just want to go back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me. So really quick, I just want to tell everybody, if you have an event, just plan it. And my invites were simple. It was a mix of people I met at church, hadn't really been in this area, maybe 2 years, haven't interacted that much really. So I don't know a lot of people really well. So I just made it simple. I was like, hey, are you free Friday at 7:30? We're going to do an Isogenics business OU. Would love if you can come, bring the kids. The Bingham's, the Bingham kids will be with them upstairs. Now, I didn't mean to have 19 kids. We were outnumbered by children. So rethinking that, maybe it wasn't the smartest. And when it was time to close and enroll people, they were the 16-month-old twins, running around in circles around my feet. So I was complicated, but just have an event. Tammy probably remembers the first event we did, and I did I wasn't really ever trying to sell. As a matter of fact, I remember one of the things I got, I was like, well, I'm not trying to sell you anything. And one of my neighbors was like, well, yes, you are. Why would you say that? You want people to buy from you. But I think it was nervousness. And then I did another, and it was a wellness mixer. We had all these people over, and one of my friends who had Doterra signed people up for that. And I put the products out and never mentioned it, never played a video. So I think that's a personal shortcoming. So this time I actually asked for a sale, which was an improvement personally. But I'm just I think it's all about you're comfortable. So things that just went wrong. One, it was a super busy week, but I want to talk to you about imperfect action, because I probably didn't look at the PowerPoint to change it until, I think my husband said an hour before. And I know that's really terrible, but it was just one of those days at work where I couldn't leave. Normally Friday I can leave early, and I couldn't, but that didn't stop me at all. Right. And then we couldn't decide like if we want to do food, no food, whatever. So I printed out the enrollment forms, and I think I put a picture of it, but I did have a link on where to buy. Like it didn't have my website. It was just like the enrollment forms that passed out. The pictures of the products didn't print out for some reason, but whatever. Like, you know, I had his number. I did like that we did, you know, and you can do it with a camera or selfie or whatever. I just happen to have the green screen, but having like a photo booth, and we really could have done better, like bigger. It was something Leon wanted to do, but having like the pictures. So my follow-up was, oh my God, here's your cute pictures. Thanks for coming. Let me know what time and day we're going to follow back up. A reason to connect back with them. But having 14 adults with like, I think it was like at least 3 couples and even 19 kids is a lot, considering that I sent out a text. I didn't make a graphic. I didn't tell people what it was. I just said Isogenics business overview. Didn't overthink it, because people who want to Google it did. And one lady, it was kind of funny. She said she wanted to make sure it wasn't like a business for a religious organization. And I was like, people do that? A business overview for a religion? But anyway, so she came and I was like, okay. And then other people just came to support me. And so I learned that, like, even though, you know, a diverse crowd, I had a mix of people, different ages, ethnicities, you know, between different, walks of life. 2 of the couples had the most 1-5, so big families. But I think having those couples there, I didn't get any objection that was like, I have to talk to my husband, because it was there. And the introverts for the men, this was a new dynamic for us, because Leon, those of you who met him, he's an introvert until you get to know him and he won't like shut up, you know? But he was able to connect with a lot of the men. And I wasn't sure like I'm not a big drinker, so I didn't even know like, you know, which one you chill, red or wine or whatever, to have alcohol. So we had water, wine, beer, and tea, like, you know, and like kids' juice packs. And so we probably spent some money, but it was one of those things like, just go, just do it. So then I was able to leverage the excitement of the event, because we were up until like midnight. The last person left at like 10:40. I think people with the most kids come early and stay late because they don't want to go back home. Like, you know, it was daddy daycare. But the next day, I connected and invited people to the next one. So we've crazily committed to do Fridays. I think Leon's going out of town next week. Friday, and then Tuesday. So if anybody has anybody in this area, like, my house is open. It's crazy, but I know this community, like what Tammy did. And what I wanted to say about after coming back from an event, I remember we had our little calendars and we met at, like the Wild Horse restaurant or whatever right there in Gallipolis. And we have to plan our calendars. We're going to have this team dinner. We're going to do this event. And we're going to do these meetings. And like, that was the foundation of growth. And so at meeting, we talked about the keystone, like the center stone of the arch, and results that you can't get, and choose your path, you know, what to focus on. And he said, I was busy looking at the views and not the path I was on. I'm going back to what worked. And it's that just pure, genuine excitement.
Yes.
Right. So on the PowerPoint, it wasn't like my words. I wasn't as comfortable with it, but honestly, that's the same thing I did when I did the first one. I don't know if Tammy remembers, but they had a slide of the greens. I did greens. So like, I just read the slide and someone asked about it. This was like, and I'm like, looks like we have greens. Apparently they're pretty good. And I didn't put any pictures of myself 4 years ago. And the people who knew me were like, well, what's your story? So that's one thing I did. I put my before and after. And I'll be honest, I had a great before and after. I went back up. And so I showed where I went back up in July, and then how I went back. And I was like, this is real. It's not a magic bullet. If you don't stay committed and focus, whatever. And people resonated with that. And then after I showed the beginning, I just had slides. Like, this is literally, I only had like 20 minutes to do this. Just, I chose, you know, like, it was life. I was like, but that's not why I brought you out here. I brought you out here, you know, because of the vision and what can happen. And knowing people's stories and connecting to it, I got good questions. Like, it was very different questions than before. Like, someone asked, you know, why is it 2/3, 1/3? And at one point I could have answered it, but I was just like, Leon, and he got up there and came up with some good reason where, like, you know, he said something good, like, well, because if you look at this, you don't want the person down here to make a lot of money. It's team effort. And if you do that, I don't know if what he said was right or not, but like, everybody was like, oh, that sounds really good. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So then some other things that I would have changed. You need to practice your PowerPoint. You need to practice like your position. And if you've never done a business overview before, it's very different, because for 4 years, pretty much, even though, like, except for Leader and Action Formula, I feel like Failure, I couldn't help you with that one. But for the money, like I got it. I could do it with my eyes closed now, right? But I haven't led that at the front. So I got questions like, you know, if I enroll a customer and they're on the inside leg and they don't order anymore, can I put another person in their spot? And I was like, I've never had somebody say that, and they've never heard of Isogenics before, right? So it was different. And then I played the next entrepreneur up front. I wish I would have had time to play the Isogenics Advantage video, but I followed what's on isogenicsbusiness.com, and they give you the layout. But if you prepare ahead instead of what I did, honestly, I didn't know that many people were going to come. I don't know, like it wasn't a big deal, but it's always like when it's not a big deal that people RSVP. I did follow up with people that day to be like, hey, see you tonight. You know, it was quick, like just in the middle of the day. But the next video, I'll be honest, at NYKO, I was a little disappointed. I didn't like it. I was like, this doesn't tell the story I want. And I didn't agree with like where she cried. And like, I was looking at it wrong. But then I listened on a call, and I think I heard Murray and Susan talk about it, and they talked about how powerful it was, because I thought it would be different. And I watched it Friday. So like I knew what I was going to say. And so I played it, and then I let there be silence, and I got them interacting. And I was like, what do you think about that? And everything they said was perfect gold. There were people who were closed, and within 7 minutes, they were like, I really resonated with that. They talked about work-life balance. There was, you know, someone resonated, a couple from Cuba who was there, and they resonated with Alex Hoffman in the video. We had the, you know, corporate America people. We had the, you know, Stark group that was there, and their family, you know, money's keeping them from having another child. So like people really started talking. I had a career consultant there who, this is what she deals with, and it was real. And so they talked about the skepticism. So then when I got into the money slides, it was like an icebreaker. So I don't know if that's helpful. I know that was a mile a minute, but it's late. But the other thing, the last thing I would say is I did ask for the sale. I said the products. I passed out the blank order forms, or people came to get them. But because of like parking, we have a large, Liam like valeted or something crazy to let people out, and somebody got stuck in the neighbor's ditch because we don't have lights out here and it's hard to find. Like, you know, all those like crazy things. Because we're kind of in a rural area, not rural like where you are, Tammy, but you know. you know, like where if it rains, it floods and you can't get out of your house. We're not that bad yet, but I do have a driveway. I have to send you a picture where we can't get the cooking right. But like some people, it was kind of like nobody left during the presentation, which I think for 14 adults to stay, it was long. Like they were here for a long time because we socialized too long. But I didn't know what people wanted to do, but I don't think anybody felt like they were being sold to. Nobody had a problem that we were talking about business, and that's why they were being invited over. But it wasn't really over. I probably didn't start my overview maybe until like 9 o'clock, which was super late because it was at 7:30. Most people were like settled by 8. So I would have done that. I would have done the presentation sooner. So like Tuesday, I'm going to do different slides. I think what we need in there on the slides, I did the business of the 21st century. I think they need to see like what Tammy said, the manager, how to make the money. I didn't capitalize until the end on, hey, we have free enrollment until the 20th. You know, I missed out on just like, this is how you get the upfront money, the rapid crystal reset, this is the money. I said it at the end, but I didn't have a slide. So I think like when people know it's the money, you want to show them the roadmap, you know, and maybe next time we may just like print out and give people paper so they can draw the circles with me. So it's a lot of things I would have done differently. I've gotten good follow-up, didn't get enrollments on the spot, but honestly, like it was just late. Like the kids at one point, I thought they were going to just like tear my house up. I still haven't been upstairs. I'm a little scared to see what happens Friday night.
I was going to say with that many kids, I bet your house is destroyed. But you guys, are you getting this? Like, are you getting this? The thing I wrote down that like just hits me slapping straight in the face is imperfect action. Just decide to do it. And do it and quit worrying about what it's going to be like. We started doing the same thing in Charlotte, Melva, and Blady's been doing it with us. And I don't know who else is on the line. I can't tell here in Charlotte. We didn't know what we were doing. We just started inviting people and you don't know. But the thing is, you now, Melva, have begun to create, you've planted the seed within your community. People are going to chat. If you start doing it weekly, people who weren't there are going to want to come in. And it's a decision cycle for everyone. You know, if this is the first time a lot of people have heard about this, it may take them 2 or 3 months to mull through it before they decide. It's the same thing. I have learned that prospecting for business is no different than prospecting for the product when it comes to the decision cycle and kind of the timeline. And actually, sometimes I think people think longer and harder about the business than they do the product, because they're going to be jumping in and owning a business and running with it. So the other thing I love is that, and I just wrote this down, Melba, because you said, you didn't have the slides together till the last minute. You weren't sure what you were going to say. But the reality is people join you. People come in to your organization because of you. We love the products, and I want to say that it's because of the products, it's because of the company, it's because of the compensation plan. They're all amazing. But at the end of the day, the root of this business, the bread and butter of this business is networking. It's network marketing. People join people they know, people who are credible, people that they trust, right? So they join, they're there because they trust you, Melva. And they're going to join you because of you, because of your enthusiasm, because of your posture, because of your confidence. It doesn't really matter what's coming out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So guys, just get out there and be bold and just do it. And you're just going to skin your knees and learn, like Melva, you're being really hard on yourself. You've came up with 15 things you do differently, but you got out there and you did it. You did it, right? So don't be so hard on yourself. So that's awesome. I love it. It's such a great.
People just said they had, but feedback week was, and even my husband, Leon, because he's done a couple with us, but not all of them. But people were like, we just had fun,
right?
It was like fellowship, and it may not matter why people show up, because once they get there, they may change, after before they leave. I'm quite sure some people just wanted to see what the heck my house looks like, because I never invite anybody over, because that would mean my house would have to be clean. I'm not a person that just invites you over my house. So it's probably oh my God, heck yeah, we're going to come to your house and we're going to tour. And, so that's fine if they came to, to come see my house, but they, max out our center. Okay, that's cool. Right. I'll just have to keep my house clean.
Well, so let me tell you guys, I was a fly on the wall, and we'll wrap up after this. When I went to Boston and stayed with Susan, I'm sure you guys think of Susan as she's global, right? She's running this massive business. We're on these calls and we hear her. That woman has a grassroots business in Boston, and those people are thick as thieves. I got the opportunity to stay with a good friend of hers where they hosted their Super Saturday team party afterwards. And these folks are the best of friends. They've been doing this business with Susan for the past 7 years. And some of them came from the New Skin. And they were up after 2 a.m. I'm the young one downstairs in the basement trying to go to bed, and I can't get them to shut up because they're still up drinking, But I love the culture and the community. They're you'd think they were brother and sisters, their whole community and culture up there. And so I think we should all strive to begin to establish that, right? And some of them are business builders, and some of them are just committed consumers that love the culture, And so I challenge you guys to all put a stake in the ground and start that grassroots. And it gives you something fun to do. Blady, how many nights have we been up after our events till midnight drinking wine, drawing out compensation plans after everybody's gone? It gives you some camaraderie locally too, even if nobody shows up, right? So, well, that was
and it also gives your people, there are people where I was you can share the video, use the slides. You don't have to have 19 kids over your house. Bring them over my way. This is how I will support you. It. And some people were oh, so I can just invite some other people. And I even had people that brought people, who I didn't even know. So that was a good thing too. I was yeah, bring everybody Right. Maybe
you're not have 40 people at your house next week. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, this has been awesome. I'm going to hold off on my LinkedIn stuff until our next call. But I guess the one thing I do just want to say is if you're not playing with it, you should be. I was listening to some statistics on my way home from Grove Park, and you get 5 times more visibility in LinkedIn right now than you do on Facebook. And it has to do with the complicated algorithms of Facebook that LinkedIn doesn't have. So I'm just scratching the surface on it. But I made a post last week that has over 50,000 views on it right now, and over 280 comments. I've never gotten traction like that in Facebook. It is insane. And so I'm just starting to play with it, and it is like Pandora's box is opening up. So what I would recommend for all of you, if you don't have a LinkedIn page, I would make your homework assignment to go set one up. You can go on YouTube. There's some great webinars on how to create your own LinkedIn page and how to begin creating connections on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is Facebook 10 years ago. And I truly believe that there's a huge group of folks in Isogenics who made millions capitalizing on social media and Facebook. And I truly believe the next wave it's Insta, but it's also LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such an unsaturated market of people with spending power who are on there looking for opportunities. They're not in there looking for recipes for a cookies or looking at people's kittens. They are in there and active because they're looking for opportunities. So we need to start getting savvy on how to work it, because I am just blown away at the number of people who are willing to take a look. And it's not awkward versus pinging, people on Facebook and having the same conversation. So we'll talk more about that next week, guys, but I would highly recommend you set up a Facebook and a LinkedIn page if you don't have one. And you don't have to be, out there loud and proud like I am to be building your business with LinkedIn. You can be doing some direct messaging. You don't have to self-sabotage your current career is what I'm trying to say by using LinkedIn. All right, guys, this was an action-packed call, and I appreciate all of you guys hanging on to the last minute. Thank you for all of your contributions. This team is on freaking fire. Tomorrow is a new week for new enrollments. And if I don't slam 1 or 2 ultimate packs this week, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I've been working my ass off hustling people, right? So I'm right there in the weeds with you guys, and I am trying to slam manager. So let's all push for Crystal Manager over the next 2 weeks. And I can't wait to hear what's going on next Sunday. And hopefully I'll hear you guys. I'll see you on the Global Exec call tomorrow morning. All right? Leader in Action formula. Print it out. Bye-bye.